Happy stinking New Year, nerds, and welcome back to the Deep Echo YouTube channel, where despite the name, we never talk about anything deep ever. And of course, right before we decided to ring in the new year, Kick had to have somebody almost die on livestream again. Alright, so our first main character in this story is the Kids Bop version of Patrick Bateman, a streamer who goes by the name Clavicular. And I have absolutely no clue how I didn't hear about this guy before this incident. This guy's a friggin' nut job. He's an advocate for bone smashing, which if you don't know is basically giving your face a gentle jackhammering to try to get a stronger jawline. Apparently he's been rocking the roid since he was 14. Didn't even know that was legal, honestly. He injected Botox and filler into his 17-year-old girlfriend's face on stream. He tried to get his dong sucked on stream as well. He was also known for dropping a bunch of slurs when live, like he was trying to activate sleeper agents for the clan, which coincidentally he also sells a course called Clavicular's Clan, $49 a month, so he can tell you how to be more confident and looks max. He does a lot of stuff on his stream, but the main thing people know him for is his psychotic addiction to looks maxing. He says that he does meth to stay lean. I feel like I can't rule this out 100%, but I'm going to assume it's a joke, because if you don't know, meth isn't the best thing for your skin. You know, a little Neutrogena is not going to be able to fix that. And he's also very adamant about getting limb lengthening surgery when he's already 6'2". He just wants like 4 more inches.
Why are you spending $100,000 on surgery to go from 6'2" to 6'6"?
That is more about presence. You walk into a room, people notice, right? Because people will come up to me, they'll say, "Oh, well, 6'2", you know, that's already very tall." But in terms of percentiles, it's only 91st percentile, right? 6'6", we get to 99th. I'm someone who wants to be the best.
Keep in mind, these surgeries, they're straight up breaking your bones in half, and then they're stretching them with these rods that are inside your legs, and you're straight up disabled during the recovery process. You like have to relearn how to walk again. So yeah, that's our first character in this story, and the other person is this IRL streamer who also streams on Kick. Now, I tried to figure out this dude's name or username. Admittedly not very hard, but I did try. And the only thing I found was in Atozi's video, he shows a screenshot of the guy's Instagram where his username is like barely visible. It's like 6 pixels of the screen and then it's cut off at the very end. I'm just gonna call this guy Ricardo because that's what it looks like.
Daddy, also a funny thing happened. So when I first read the Instagram screenshot, I zoomed in on my phone when I was watching the vid, so I couldn't make out what it said. But for some reason, when I brought Atozi's vid into my editing program, I was able to make out the Instagram username perfectly. But I only found this out after I recorded the entire video, and I don't really feel like re-recording everything tonight, so we're just gonna keep calling him Ricardo.
Anyways, this guy who looks like the president of the Island Boys fan club, his whole shtick was he was basically a nuisance streamer that harassed other IRL streamers. I've heard he also harassed just normal people as well, but I couldn't find clips of that. But all you need to know right now is that he goes after streamers to annoy them, and he picked Clavicular to be his most recent target. So Clav, whose real name is Braden, is streaming down in Florida one day, and then Ricardo comes up, starts bugging him, yelling, claiming he's signed to Kodak Black. Would love to know if that's real or not. I'm going to assume no. Braden gets annoyed and then they go their separate ways. And then another day rolls around. Clav is IRL streaming in a mall. He's shopping, and then this guy comes back and starts bugging him again. He starts yelling, you know, just trying to cause problems for Braden here. And then Clav, in retaliation, just pours water on the dude.
I got the biggest clip tonight. Clavicular recording. $2.2 million. I already signed my Kodak Black. I bought everyone in Miami. I'm merging. The biggest clip. Clap. You don't want to do this. Do it. Go ahead. Hey, go ahead.
And then another day, Clav was actually streaming with Neon at Art Basel in Miami, which is like an international series of art fairs, and then Ricardo runs up on Clav and pours water on him this time. And then there was another incident where Ricardo showed up at the place Clav and his crew were staying at, and then we get to the penultimate incident where Ricardo's crew shows up to Clav, starts bugging him, they start yelling, they have signs, and then they're like, "Stop saying the N-word." I mean, understandable, but my point is this has been going on for several days where Ricardo's crew has been bugging Clav's crew, and as you can imagine, Clav is pretty dang upset at all of this, and he was so upset that when walking with one of his associates, Clav was like, "Yeah, I want to kill every one of these guys."
Buzzy bro, your best course of action is just get in your whip and get the fuck out.
Yeah, I know the best course of action, but I want to kill each and every one of these guys.
In GTA.
No, I want to.
Well,
I love that. I love how his friend is trying to give him a way out, and Clav's like, nah, I said what I said. Anyways, finally we got all the exposition out of the way. Now we get to the big deal here. So, Clav and a woman he was streaming with, they were chilling in the Cybertruck about to drive out of here. And then Ricardo gets the brilliant 500 IQ idea. Hey, I'm gonna jump on the hood of their car and start doing the WhatsApp face. And it was at this point Clav realized, hey, this guy is directly in front of me, and I'm in a 1-ton brick of steel with wheels and an engine. I know what to do.
Oh my fucking
Start
God.
driving with this guy in the car. Drive.
Oh my fuck. Oh my God. You probably just ran him over. Oh my God. Oh my God. Off the car. He was on the car. Oh my God.
Is he dead?
I don't know.
Hopefully.
This dude just slammed his Cybertruck into another car with a dude pinned in between both vehicles, and he's using the same tone of voice that I use when I'm trying out the new phone charger I bought. Now, if I was in the driver's seat of this Cybertruck, I would probably be thinking, hey, let's end the stream now, because I cannot think of a single good thing that would come of me continuing to stream after I just steamrolled a guy. But Braden decides not to do that for some reason. But as weird as this decision is, we actually do get a little bit more information because Braden tells the security guards that were witnesses to this whole thing that the reason he ran him over is because he thought he saw the imprints of guns in his pants. Or their pants, I should say, because he was talking about the whole crew.
No, you don't know. There's armed people surrounding my car. Yeah, and they're armed. They all have pistols. They all have pistols. So well, the ones with pistols, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're all unregistered guns.
Oh yeah, then that's different. If it's unregistered.
Yeah.
They flashed it on you. That was like
I see the print popping through their sweatpants when they're pressing us. I see the guys.
Which very well could have been the case, I don't know. Anyways, the Popo comes in, they start talking to Clav, and then Clav calls up Aiden Ross, seeing if he can get some lawyers airdropped to his location, and Aiden's like, yo, I got you. And then finally, people stopped streaming this situation, and then it just became a matter of waiting for updates. So now we get to the most surprising and bizarre moment of this whole saga, in my opinion, and it's the fact that Kick banned Clav almost immediately after this happened. This blew my mind when I heard it because I never hear about Kick banning anybody for even some extremely degenerate activity. But what makes this even weirder is that the stream sniper that was harassing Clav and Neon and the gang, he was not banned. At least according to Aiden Ross, he said he straight up called Kick and was like, hey, unban Clav and ban the other guy, but Kick was still like, no, we're standing by what we did. Why do y'all think that was the case? The best thing I can think of is that even though Ricardo was harassing the streamers and all of that, Clav was the one that drove the truck into the dude's body, so I guess technically he was the one that got physical first, even if you're counting on the water incident from a few days back. So they banned Clav because technically he quote-unquote threw the first punch. But I have absolutely no clue as to what's going on in Kick headquarters. I'm just speculating. Now, if you can believe it, after this situation, after the cops talked to Clav, they actually let him go, and Clav just started posting to social media again. And he got a little wacky with it. He posted on TikTok a video of him, and the caption just says, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And then on his Twitter, he went into one of those image generators and generated some images of him running over the dude in a Cybertruck. This dude is an actual supervillain. This is like what happens when the nuisance of society meets the menace to society, and then they duke it out. Keep in mind, this dude was posting this stuff when they were still deciding, hey, should we press criminal charges against this guy? Now, as all of this was going on, a lot of people were wondering, hey, what happened to the guy that just got French kissed by a Cybertruck? Now, unfortunately, it seems like even after all of this blew up, nobody knows this dude's name. Ergo, nobody had any information on what condition this dude was in.
And I checked that aforementioned Instagram and it hasn't been updated since October.
So naturally, a lot of people started assuming he died, understandably so, but then Aiden Ross comes out and he says he talked to some guy that was around this situation when it happened, like he has a freaking news correspondent down there, and Aiden says based on that source, Ricardo is not dead yet, he is alive. Again, according to Aiden Ross. Okay, so those two questions have been answered, but one still remains in my head, and is the car that the truck crashed into okay? The person driving seems fine, but that sound, I don't think that that car made it out of that encounter unscathed. So here's hoping the damage isn't too bad. And then a couple days ago, the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office said, hey, Clavicular will face no criminal charges. We're not going to pursue anything against him. What a way to close out the year. So I'm curious to hear what you all think of this situation. Do you think Clav was in the right? Do you think the streamer this was an inhumane punishment? Are you somewhere in the middle and think, yeah, understandable what Clav did, but he should still face some charges? Yap to me in the comments. I would love to know what you think. Personally, I am leaning more towards Clav's side. I still think he's a freaking psychopath. Don't get me wrong, but that IRL streamer got what was coming to him in my humble opinion. But I do recognize that I am pretty jaded when it comes to IRL streamer stuff. I'm just so sick of these nuisance streamers running around, so I'm a lot less sympathetic to them when they land themselves in trouble. So as of now, Clav's account has been reinstated. Here's hoping that one car that got caught in the crossfire is fine. And let's just take a moment to all appreciate all of the streamers that we watch that aren't degenerates.